The duty to manage is placed on the person or organisation that has the main responsibility for maintenance or repair of the building. It applies to non-domestic premises and the common parts of multi-occupancy domestic premises, such as purpose-built flats. The duty holder can be the building owner, the premises landlord, or the person responsible for maintenance or repair through a contract or tenancy agreement. If your building was constructed or refurbished before the year 2000, there is a chance asbestos could be present. If it was built after 2000, then it is likely that the duty to manage will not apply, unless you have any old equipment or machinery that could contain asbestos. The wide range of asbestos uses means that it can be found in many locations. Asbestos-containing materials can include loose fill insulation, sprayed coatings, pipe and boiler insulation, asbestos insulating board, asbestos cement, asbestos textiles, textured decorative coatings, and floor tiles. You need to find out if asbestos is present in your buildings. Start by checking existing information. If there is an asbestos survey, asbestos register, or a previous asbestos management plan, you may need to speak to the previous owners or tenants, or a facilities management company. If you don't have any information or what you have doesn't cover all the areas where asbestos could be present, you will need to inspect the building to identify and establish the condition of any asbestos-containing materials. But in most cases, you will need to arrange for an asbestos management survey to be carried out by a competent asbestos surveyor. A management survey should provide you with complete and accurate information about the location, amount, and condition of asbestos-containing materials in your buildings. The areas inspected should include service ducts, lift shafts, above false ceilings, inside risers, basements, cellars, and undercrofts, as well as old equipment and the external parts of the building. We recommend that you speak to your surveyor in advance to ensure that they can gain safe access to all these areas. Any areas which the surveyor is not able to inspect must be presumed to contain asbestos and be managed as such. We also recommend that you discuss the survey report with your surveyor to ensure you understand the content and what it means to you as the duty holder, including any urgent actions that may be required. A more intrusive survey will be needed to identify hidden asbestos for any refurbishment or demolition work. The information in the survey report should be used to produce your asbestos register. This is an updatable document that details the location of identified asbestos-containing materials, their condition at last inspection, an assessment of the exposure risk, accounting for both the ease at which the ACM will release fibres if disturbed and likelihood that it will actually be disturbed, the actions required to manage this risk. The register must also include those areas not inspected and which must be presumed to contain asbestos. Areas where asbestos is present or presumed present should also be clearly shown on site plans. Your asbestos management plan should include details of those responsible for managing asbestos risk, instructions on how to access the asbestos register, details of how ACMs will have their condition routinely checked, procedures to ensure identified or presumed ACMs are not inadvertently disturbed by anyone working in the building, and no building or installation work proceeds in unsurveyed areas. Arrangements to ensure any work on asbestos is undertaken by competent and trained people, risk assessed, a method statement or plan of work produced, and fully compliant with the control of asbestos regulations. Your plan should also detail how you will prioritize actions for work to manage risk from identified ACMs, such as repair, protection, or removal. Specific training requirements for those with responsibilities for managing asbestos and any employees who may disturb or need to work on asbestos. How information about asbestos in your building will be communicated to those who could disturb asbestos, including emergency services. Scenario-based exercises for foreseeable events such as leaking pipes can be a helpful way of ensuring your asbestos management plan is effective and may highlight any gaps in your asbestos information and procedures, as well as communication breakdowns. It is important to communicate your asbestos management plan to employees and anyone liable to disturb asbestos. A common failing that health and safety inspectors find is duty holders not keeping their documents and arrangements up to date. Your asbestos management plan is a live document that should be reviewed and updated as necessary every 12 months, or earlier if circumstances change, such as changes to the organizational structure, procedures, staff, or building use, changes to the use of building or room. Asbestos-containing materials must also be considered at the planning stage of any future refurbishment or installation work. For further information about the duty to manage asbestos, visit www.hse.gov.uk/asbestos/duty.